What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video. And now that Liverpool have their permanent manager Arne Slot pretty much all but confirmed, Liverpool are targeting many players in the transfer market. The rumors are swirling and Fabrice Hawkins, English journalist, is reporting that Xavi Simons is wanted by Liverpool. He will not return to Paris Saint-Germain, and Leipzig of course are trying to make the loan deal permanent, but Paris Saint-Germain want around 45-50 million pounds for Xavi Simons at least, and there are several Premier League clubs interested in Xavi Simons' services, including Liverpool. So in this video you will hear all the latest rumors and the transfer news about Liverpool FC, plus you will discover what kind of player Xavi Simons is and what he could bring to Liverpool and why he would be a brilliant signing, and also the best part of Jurgen Klopp's press conference. I love this last few weeks of Jurgen Klopp's era, where he's just so nonchalant, he doesn't give a damn anymore, and he's late from his press conference and he says, to be honest, who gives a... You know what, when he was confronted by a journalist saying that he was late now twice in the last 3 weeks, and he just doesn't give a damn, and I love that. And I also love Jurgen Klopp's press conferences now, they are even more entertaining. And the Bild newspaper is reporting that Xavi Simons could be available for around 60 million euros, which is around 54 million pounds. He has 7 goals and 13 assists in 31 appearances. 9 goals and 15 assists in the whole season. In the Bundesliga he has 7 goals and 13 assists in 31 games, but in the whole season, with all competitions included, he has 9 goals and 15 assists, so that's 24 goal contributions in just 42 games. And I will be honest, I'm a little bit biased. Xavi Simons is one of my favorite players to watch. He's such a brilliant, electric player who can play in a variety of positions: attacking midfield, left wing, right wing, as a false 9, off the striker. His current market value is around 80 million euros, so Paris Saint-Germain probably will try to keep him, and they would want to, maybe play Xavi Simons in Mbappe's position. Mbappe was not included in the latest kit reveal video of Paris Saint-Germain, so he's most certainly off to Real Madrid. And Xavi Simons, as I said, only 21 years old. He is a Dutch international. He loves to play with Van Dijk and Gakpo in the Dutch national team, and his PSG contract expires in 2027, so he has 3 years left on his deal. And I'm not sure if Xavi Simons would want to play at Paris Saint-Germain. As a starter, maybe, but that league is not as competitive as the Bundesliga or the Premier League or the La Liga or Serie A. I'm not really sure what his salary is at Paris Saint-Germain, but probably it's pretty low, because when he was loaned out to Paris Saint-Germain, he wasn't a world-class player. Now he is borderline world-class, in my opinion. He already played 13 times for the Dutch national team as well. And Xavi Simons is considering his options. Talks are expected to take place with Paris Saint-Germain. Probably they would need to give him a new contract to convince him to stay at Paris Saint-Germain on a much higher salary. And what I love about Xavi Simons is he's not an injury-prone player at all. He played 42 games for Leipzig, scoring 9 goals and getting 15 assists. And the previous season he played 48 games for PSV Eindhoven, scoring a whopping 22 goals in all competitions, which is a really impressive number. And he also got 12 assists last season for PSV, so he had 34 goal contributions in 48 games. Those are absolutely brilliant numbers. And Xavi Simons and Cody Gakpo have played together actually at PSV Eindhoven as well as the Dutch national team, so they are probably good friends, and Cody Gakpo hopefully can say some nice words about Liverpool to Xavi Simons to convince him to come to Liverpool. So, and I think Liverpool's best case scenario is that Xavi Simons pushes for an exit because he doesn't see himself as a regular starter at Paris Saint-Germain. I think at Liverpool he could be a regular starter because we need a goal scorer winger. It has been documented that Liverpool are looking for that type of player. And on the left wing, Luis Diaz is great, but he doesn't score as many goals as Xavi Simons. He doesn't get as many assists as Xavi Simons, and he's also 6 years older. So there is an argument to be made. If Luis Diaz is sold for 70-80 million, we could get Xavi Simons for a little bit less, have money left over, and we upgraded a position, replacing a 27-year-old Luis Diaz with a 21-year-old Xavi Simons, who can play on the left wing, and he has played there quite a lot of times already. And of course, Leipzig have expressed a keen interest in Xavi Simons. They would love to sign him, and they have begun negotiations with Paris Saint-Germain. But Leipzig don't have as much financial power as the likes of Liverpool, Arsenal and other Premier League clubs. So these clubs can hijack the deal if they offer a better deal to Xavi Simons and regular playing time. Then I don't see a reason why Xavi Simons would choose to stay at Leipzig instead of signing for Liverpool. And a French football expert, Jonathan Johnson, has provided insight. He said a lot has been written about Xavi Simons' future recently after his great form on loan at Leipzig, and my latest understanding of the situation is that assuming Mbappe is leaving Paris Saint-Germain, Xavi Simons will probably be under consideration for a place in PSG next season. I find it hard to see another loan for Xavi Simons, and certainly a full season loan at Leipzig or anywhere else. Given his success with Leipzig, I also don't think a loan move to another club would make any sense. So I would put his future between Paris Saint-Germain and Leipzig. And as much as Leipzig would want to keep him, I don't see another full season loan in Germany. So I think PSG will be keen to get him involved in the Paris Saint-Germain first team squad next season. It will be interesting to see if that's what Enrique wants. But based on what he has said publicly, he seems very keen on Xavi Simons' profile. There has been talk of potential offers from the likes of Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, even Barcelona, and I think it would have to depend on the offer, because I don't really see PSG doing business unless there is an offer that's deemed too good to turn down. I expect decisions to be made soon. PSG's preparations for next season can even start now, given they are out of the Champions League. There's still a cup final to win, but the league title, the French league title, has been confirmed for PSG. So Enrique can start discussing with the club which positions need reinforcing and how Simons might fit into his plans for next season. And as I said, the biggest hope for Liverpool is that Xavi Simons doesn't see himself as being a regular at Paris Saint-Germain. But the problem is, buying from Paris Saint-Germain is very tough because they are not desperate for money. They are one of the richest clubs in the world alongside Manchester City. Even if you offer a very good offer to Xavi Simons, for Xavi Simons to PSG can always turn it down because they don't need the money. Remember, they turned down something crazy like 150 or 200 million euros for Mbappe when Mbappe had just 1 year left on his contract. I mean, imagine you are a football club who can turn down that kind of money for a player. That's absolutely crazy. And they still haven't won the Champions League. They only have one Champions League final appearance after spending hundreds of millions of pounds, £1.5 billion probably in total, and they still have nothing to show for it on the international stage. Only, of course, the French league title won a lot of times, but that's not really a big achievement considering that PSG's budget is like 10x or 20x of some other French clubs. Liverpool have a lot of attacking midfielders like Harvey Elliott, McAllister, Dominic Szoboszlai, even Gakpo can play in that position. But I think if Liverpool were to sign Xavi Simons, we should play him on the left wing, because I watched him many times play for Leipzig this season. I watch Bundesliga highlights quite regularly, and Leipzig already has 2 Hungarian players playing. They used to have 3 with Szoboszlai there. And Xavi Simons was electric during the season. He's absolutely brilliant. Dribbling, pace, power, finishing ability, and he has a great passing as well. He got a lot of assists this season. And Jurgen Klopp also dismissed speculation that linked Darwin Nunez to a move away from Liverpool. He said there is no speculation speculation. That must be an outside speculation. Darwin Nunez is just unlucky in so many situations where he's doing everything right and still the ball doesn't want to go in. What he's doing right now, we try to help him every week, and a footballer has to go through these periods. When a striker doesn't score goals, he will be criticized and he will be angry with himself. What is most important, Jurgen Klopp said, is that Darwin Nunez gets so many chances that he misses a lot of them, and that gets highlighted. But it's much better than being an average striker, not getting chances and just being called bad or average. Liverpool fully trusts him. Darwin Nunez will get it right. I think he will improve his finishing once he's a little bit more mature and more calmed down, because right now maybe he wants it too much. Maybe he wants to succeed so desperately that he's not calm enough and cool enough in front of goal. But hopefully that will change in the coming weeks and months. But the external noise is getting louder about Darwin Nunez, because Radio Phoenix journalist Nicolas Saavedra has said that Nuno Mendes wants Darwin Nunez to leave Liverpool. He's a footballer whom he holds in very high regard, and he has other aspirations for him. And I'm not sure how true that is, and I think it will ultimately come down to what Liverpool wants. Because if Liverpool want to keep Darwin Nunez, and if the new manager trusts him, and if Michael Edwards thinks that Darwin Nunez is good enough to get another chance, and I think he's definitely good enough. Liverpool just play much better when Darwin Nunez plays in the team. He causes so much chaos that 2 or 3 defenders are occupied with defending against Darwin Nunez, so that relieves more space for the other forwards, the other attackers, to get into goal scoring situations. And I think Darwin Nunez will want to prove his worth next season, so he will be very hungry, very determined as well. And Jurgen Klopp also said something very interesting about Harvey Elliott, that he had a great game against Tottenham, and if Jurgen Klopp regrets one thing, is that Harvey Elliott didn't play enough. In January he played really good in an intense period, and then a lot of players came back from injury, and then Harvey Elliott didn't start a lot. And to be honest, Szoboszlai, it was justified that he started after coming back from injury, because he has such a great first half of the season. But Szoboszlai hasn't been the same since his injury. He has really struggled for form, and in the end Harvey Elliott is now ahead of him in the pecking order right now, because Harvey Elliott is in much better form. And Szoboszlai isn't fazed by his loss of form. He said, sometimes there are times when you don't play well, and in some people's eyes you are the worst player on the pitch. But this is not a problem, because we get through these things together. And as a footballer, sometimes there are periods when, it's not as good as before, and you have to get through this period. Jurgen Klopp said this about Darwin Nunez as well. The Premier League is much quicker. Here you don't have as much time to think about your next move, your next pass, or whether you dribble with the ball, as in the Bundesliga. In the Bundesliga you have a lot more time on the ball. Here in the Premier League you really pretty much need to know what you would like to do with the ball before you even receive the ball. And because if you don't, you pretty much have no chance, because a lot of teams are very high intensity, high pressing, and just the Premier League is just much quicker and much more physical. But I trust Dominic Szoboszlai to get it right, because the first season for a young player coming from a different league is always the toughest. And once he gets used to the pace and the physicality of the Premier League, next season he will settle down and be much better. And I expect Szoboszlai to be a regular 10 goal and 10 assist per season player. This season he's nowhere near that. He has like 7 goals and 4 or 5 assists, something like that. But he also missed like 2 months with injury. Next season I expect Szoboszlai to take it to another level and score a lot more goals and get a lot more assists. And Harvey Elliott also said that we wanted to achieve Champions League football, and recent weeks haven't really been good enough, and we wanted to achieve a lot more. But with the crowd behind us and the last 2 games, we want to go out with a bang. We just want to win both games, and we have Champions League football next season. It's where this club belongs and deserves to be. There are going to be more special nights, and hopefully we can put it right next season again. And I love that about Harvey Elliott, that he's so ambitious, and he's a Liverpool fan, so I will always love love him, and I hope that he stays at Liverpool for the rest of his career. He's developing and growing at a very, very good rate. So he will be soon a regular starter for Liverpool if he is not already. So it will be interesting, and that is why I like competition for places in midfield. You have to be on your top performance if you want to start every week for Liverpool, and that's how it should be. And that's a great way to end this video. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later, guys. Goodbye.